press on to greater achievements of the future. When my mom sees a disassembled gadget in the middle of the floor, a pile of pieces and parts and trinkets, all she sees is a mess, a headache, and a reason to be pessimistic. But when I see that same pile of goodies, believe me, all I see is optimism. I mean, think of all the possibilities just lying there on the floor. That just goes to prove that optimism is in the eye of the beholder. Taking bits and pieces from one thing and reassembling them for a new purpose is exactly what will help me press on to greater achievements in life. What is out there that hasn't been created yet? What inventions make life a little bit easier for people in the future? How can a boring old everyday thing be transformed into something new, or better, or just a little bit cooler? Those are the questions that consume me when I see what my mom calls the proverbial Blake quakes scattered around my bedroom floor. She sees a mess, and I see a project. This difference of opinion between my mother and I goes back as far as I can remember. She reminds me of a time when I was in preschool and the house was a little too quiet for her comfort. She says she searched the house looking for me and finally discovered me sitting in the middle of her bedroom floor with an old VCR player scattered around me in pieces. She said she gasped and walked out. When she finally returned, she asked me what in the world I was doing. I just looked up at her and told her I was trying to remove the old tape that had been stuck in there for years. Hey, I got the thing out. I remember one year I got a tool bench for Christmas. I loved it. Talk about pieces and parts. This was no ordinary tool bench. This was a Mac Daddy version with gadgets and compartments and trinkets all over it. Seriously, it took me about 10 full minutes just to take the thing apart. What? You didn't think I was going to play with it all assembled, did you? No way. I rebuilt it bigger and way better than it was before. I'm not even sure it was a tool bench when I was finished with it, but it sure was fun to play with. The following year, I asked for a new bike for Christmas. I know for a fact those things don't come assembled, unless you pay extra. Or you put in a special request at the North Pole. But who in the world would want a bike in a bag for Christmas, right? Meet me. Yes, it is true. About a month after Christmas, after I'd ridden that bike of mine up and down the driveway a billion times, my mother, once again, stepped into the garage and almost fainted when she saw me sitting in the middle of a pile that used to be my bike. I never had to wonder after that why it was all my gifts came disassembled in boxes, and everyone else woke up on Christmas morning to Toyland. Sometimes you get what you ask for. The truth is, I love to disassemble things and repurpose them. I mean, nothing cool was ever discovered by someone doing things the way they've always been done. It takes a little optimism to see things in a new way, a better way, or a cooler way. I'm never limited by what I see before me. Mom is working on her pessimism with my Blake quakes, but I'm optimistic she will someday see it is those exact Blake quakes that will help me press on to achieve greater things